or for a walk, really, especially
Yeah.
like my parents. But it's fine now.
I heard the smoke smelled like burning rubber. So there was a lot of like, what's really going on?
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't there, but that's what I
Right.
heard.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It was an interesting smell.
Mhm.
Didn't really bother me that much, but you know, it was bothering other people. Is that okay? It's like, all right. So let me just save, and then we should be good. All right. Let's go back to here. Okay, I think we're ready. I'm gonna get the recording started. Smell like campfire. Yeah, I'm not sure what it smelled like, but yeah, more like campfire where we were anyways, for sure.
Okay.
But even then, not really. It was weird. Okay, anyways, let me hit record.
Yeah.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the Laura Canfield Show, the Awakened Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. If you are new to my show, to my channel, please do subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching live or on the replay, please do subscribe so that you can watch all the previous shows as well as the live shows, as well as future shows. And it is my deepest wish, desire, and intention to bring forward to you these wonderful speakers and guests who are bringing their knowledge, their wisdom, their teachings, their experiences, their energies, their healing, their activations, etc., to support all of us, to help us to align to the truth of who we are, and to raise our vibration frequency, and to assist us in thriving in our lives and awakening to happiness, because happiness is within all of us, and it really truly is a choice whether we want to experience it and express it or not. But sometimes we have some belief systems in the way that kind of prevent us. So my wonderful guests help us with all of that and more. So today, my dear friend, Cathleena Hailley is back with us, and she's going to be talking about moving through the time matrix at 0 point. And if you don't know Cathleena, she's been with us many times. We love having her on the show. The community loves her as well. She's very, very powerful. She's very gifted. Cathleena is an embodiment of the Divine Feminine who works with the Council of Nine Collective, and in particular with Jesus, Metatron, and other Ascended Masters. Her coding accesses the womb water of an individual's birth so that they are brought back to their original soul expression, creating a rebirth to allow full expression of the soul's imprint. As the lineage of the life architect, her crystalline DNA signature not only carries the frequency of perfect pitch to align to the original human template, earth template, and this universe's template, but continually recalibrates this alignment. So I'm so excited that she's back with us. And like I said, today we are going to be talking about moving through the time matrix at 0 point. And what does that mean? What does that look like? How can we move through this time matrix at 0 point with ease and grace, all that and more. And of course, whenever Cathleena is on the show, she does take live caller questions. So if you do have a question for Cathleena, you may raise your hand. You can type your question in the chat as well. And she'll be doing processes throughout based on the questions that are coming through. And of course, there's always a major process that encompasses everything. So even if your question is not answered, please do listen to the final, I guess you could say, process, which will encompass everything that everybody truly requires at this moment. So please join me in welcoming Cathleena to the show. Well, welcoming her back to the show. Cathleena, welcome.
Thank you, Laura. Always great to be here. Love your audience. Love you. We always have a good time. So
yes, we do.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And there's always, so much that comes through these conversations based on the questions, right? So really, the questions do help with, with getting the processes out. And you're always transmitting energies, working with the energy field with everyone on the call as well. So it's not just a conversation of words, it's really a conversation with transmission of frequencies, etc.
Yeah, absolutely.
So because you've been on the show many times, Cathleena, I'm not going to go through your journey or anything, but I know that you've been very busy. You've been doing a lot of stuff lately. So do you want to just share a little quick update on what is going on, not with you particular, but with the collective with regards to, our templates, how we are processing things, what's been coming up for most of your clients at this time?
Yeah. It's interesting. Just prior to coming on, I was really just expanding the field, and I was looking at, the entire template field, and I can see these like massive technology pieces, which is what it looks like to me. And they really look like massive, sort of structural thing. They're in the ether, so they're in energy, but they look like as if they were, I don't know, sort of parts of a piece of machinery. It's really hard to describe, but it looks like a tube of some type, and it has a lot of these different rings that go around all these different types of stuff. And I'm kind of like, what is this that's going on? And so what I'm looking at and feeling is that there is such this rooting in and grounding in authentic frequencies of who we really are, that it's like this massive pieces, and this piece that I'm looking at feels like it's connected to some of the origination points of the times of Atlantis, because I feel like that's a big piece of what's going on in this particular timeline where we are now, is a recreation of the times of Atlantis. And we have many, many different timelines of Atlantis, but this particular one is when Atlantis had a huge amount of technology compared to like the Lemurian. Lemurian was much more in the essence of energetics. Not that we didn't have technology, but it's a different level. So the Atlantis had more technology in terms of things that we might think are machinery, even though it isn't anything in relationship to what we have today. And so there was this, it was moving with humanity for a period of time, and then it decided not to, and it became, against, and it was a lot of power struggles and power games and so on. And a lot of beings that were there at the time chose to play in the power game. And that's really where, which has led to, in essence, a lot of the things that are going on right now. We're still playing in a lot of the power games and the struggles and so on that's going on. So from a huge energetic perspective, which this is just the piece that wants to come in for this audience, is these pieces that I'm looking at, and it is, a lot of it's directly connected to my lineage and my own energetic field of, because I have a very large energetic field. So there's a lot of geometry. I'm not from this dimensionality. I have, it's not me, little me, it's the energetic. And it's not about greater or less than, it just means it has a lot more information in the field. So it's a lot of geometries and technology. So, and I was there at the time of Atlantis, and a lot of different timelines and different things that went on. So what I'm looking at is like, there were distortions in these templates that were connected to the authentic creation abilities of us as humanity, of our ability to create, our ability to create health, perfect health, well-being, life, these types of things that had been distorted. And basically the distortions are through a shutting down of the DNA. And it was like, that's why they call it like junk DNA, that's there. There's nothing junk about our DNA at all. It's just been shut down and shut. So what I'm looking at in these pieces of technology now is like rooting in and anchoring in and shifting to awaken aspects of the DNA. And this is what I'm also doing, which is happening here. It has a great opportunity. And I encourage everybody here, such a big download, so I'm going so fast because there's so much coming through, that, to let go, to have the greatest ability to let go of anything in your physical, because the energy is prime for it, particularly right here. And I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not saying that type of thing, but what I'm saying is that from an energy, we are energy and frequency. And so, our ability to have perfect health is a communication to our physical body, because we're energy and frequency communicating to the body. And that communication, in other words, has been shut down. But this field that we're in right now, and this technology that I'm bringing through, and this expansion that's happening, even in this now moment, which is all now moments, because it's the 0 point, and I represent the 0 point actually in my energetic field. As you let go in this, and I think this is what the activation is going to be on too. We're going to lift out those messaging, the deeper rooted messaging that's connected to the shutting down of the DNA. And so we're basically waking up aspects of our DNA to allow for a greater communication. And they're showing me, think about it like a computer that, if you had like a 386, which is, the computers we used to have, compared to the computer now. And it's like, so you get all this information, but the computer couldn't handle it. And now we're upgrading you to this computer system that can carry, a trigabyte or whatever. I don't even know, whatever we are. I don't know. But that's what's happening in this now moment, because we're waking up the DNA. Boy, I'm just getting all these down. It's like, wow, there's so much going on. My ears just went somewhere different. I'm like, wow, I asked for this. So right before, so it's like, wow. There's so much energy here right now. It's massive in the amount of information that's coming through.
Awesome.
And
Thank you.
Amazing people. So, I saw all the people are hearing it. So yeah, wow.
And so all the downloads that you're receiving, we also have access to if we're willing to say yes, right? So as much as we can handle, right? Yeah. Truly, as much as we can handle. So be willing to receive, like I said, from this conversation, because it's not just a conversation, it's a transmission of frequencies and downloads as well. So
and it's not coming through the mental mind. Here's the thing about it is that you don't have to even have a willingness necessarily to receive through your the mental mind. What I would say is let go of the mental mind and let it move out of the way and know that you are receiving, because this is a shift in your DNA that's taking place. So this is taking place regardless. So, and I think that's super important because a lot of people in this arena here are thinkers. And so we want to make sure that you don't have to think it. It's not about that. It's more about just allowing, just like, oh, cool. This is happening. This is happening as me, to me, for me. Yes, absolutely. It's a communication I'm communicating to the quantum level of your DNA right now, and awakening and enlightening your DNA as we're continuing to step into this. And it feels really important. So it's more about letting the mind go, just letting your mind wander, letting the thoughts wander, letting it expand, allow that. That's really the process that's desired in this present moment.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification. And as you were speaking, I also felt that shift as you were speaking, because I was just, it's like, yes, just allow. And as you allow, you can start to perceive, if you're a feeler like I am anyways, I perceive that shift of just allowing and receiving.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of forcing, so just be an allowance. And for me, it's kind of like just taking a deep breath and just expanding out and just being, right? In your heart space the best you can, just be. So I know today we're talking about moving through the time matrix at 0 point, and we're going to be going through like the different time periods, right? From incarnation in the womb to 10 years old, etc. Ages 11 to 21, 22 to 40, 41 to 60, and all of life. But can you talk a little bit more about what that is like to move through those time periods in our lives? And are we going through the memories, or are we going through the energetics, or how is that working as the observer, right? And just being present with it.
So here's the thing, and this is perfect, actually. It's why this downloads here as well, is because it's really more about having an understanding, which I love the word understand and understand, of the what time is. And time is a construct, and it's a construct of this dimensionality, of this reality. So being a construct means that it's malleable. So it has some, in essence, to it, but that's why sometimes things feel sped up, or sometimes things feel slow, whatever. And also it's not linear. So it's not like a past, present, future kind of aspect. It's more spherical, circular aspect. So it's all moving. So everything that can happen, has happened, is happening all at the same time. So you can think about it like if a kid was playing a PlayStation game or something, and every move that child would think about, the counter move is already on the disc. So it's already there. Everything's there, and all the information's there. So the idea of moving through time in the time matrix and the creating through these is what's happening is that, and this is what we're kind of opening to now, is that, so you have to imagine that through these activations that have been created, you're able to be as the 0 point, which is your multidimensional self. When we are the 0 point, right? So, and all the 0 point is the present moment without any judgment. It's the literal brand new present moment. And, that we are that. And so through the activations, you are literally as the present moment, as the 0 point, sort of experiencing these timelines of your chronological physical existence. So it would be like, and some people may have this as an actual awareness or whatever, but it's like you're able to be the witnessing observer of you, and say you have a event that continues to play out in your memory of, say, you and your parents. So, instead of you being you and your parent there and you having this memory and this awareness and everything that's going on, what it does is allows you to be the witnessing observer of you and your parent in the room together. And so by doing that, because your I am presence is now the witnessing observer, you're literally disengaging the energetics from that field, from that you. So you're literally like changing your past. You're able to do that, which in essence disengaged it from you and your physicality. So it allows it to move out into the field instead of any type of embodiment. And you're able to observe from, and this is not from a mental perspective, this is an energetic perspective, the reality of the event that took place. And so it really is kind of a spontaneous, instantaneous change. And this is why often when people do these activations, this particular one, they can have all kinds of memories, different things that come up and all of that. But because it's held in the 0 point, it's going to continue to shift out unless they purposely try to bring it back in and do it. It's not going to be, it won't be allowed. And what that means is because everything's about matching frequencies, right? All we're doing is in human existence, matching frequencies, and holding the 0 point is the highest frequency. So no other frequency can sustain itself in there. So this is the idea of being able to do that. So this is this brilliance, I guess, of this download of this, moving through the time matrix at 0 point, is because it's like, you are really in essence having an opportunity to disengage from that you think you are, because that's just quantum entanglement. That's us when we forget, because we're source consciousness having an experience. I'm having an experience called Cathleena, but if I believe that I'm Cathleena, who am I? If I become that, who have I become? What am I doing? And and so everything's energy and frequency, and that's what I'm all about. Is I'm all about frequencies and energy and being able to disengage. And so my whole essence, I carry original source codes of creation itself. So my particular essence is from the first individuations of source consciousness, which all other individuations are from. And it's not, again, not greater or less than, it just means it carries those energetics. So having this particular energetic field holding that space, it has all those other geometries with it as well. So there's this constant shifting and tinkering, so to speak. And of course, as you know, because I've been here enough times, and I don't know how much the audience, everybody here knows, but everything I do is in the 0 point. I'm communicating from the 0 point now. So I'm not arbitrarily talking to you. I'm in your energetic field. Of course, there's a lot going on. And so each activation is in the present moment. So they're brand new, no matter when you listen, even if they're quote unquote recorded, they're in the present moment. Each time you listen, they're in the present moment as well. So this is the idea of it. So it's a very profound aspect of being able to disengage from those things that have felt completely overwhelming. And this is a practice, I think too, if those that choose to do this, which I recommend everybody does it, because it's really something that's really for everybody and anybody, you can start to become aware during the activation, like, I mean, a lot of times people fall asleep or things like that, but even if you start to become aware of the energetics in relationship to it, this is how you can become the master of your own energetic field of knowing, have I embodied something, or am I, what's in my field? What am I choosing? Because you have an opportunity to really feel what it feels like to disengage from these energetics that feel completely overwhelming, because all this is here. This is the thing, is that these energies of distress or distraught, whatever it is that we feel, competition, jealousy, all the different things that we have, whatever that we feel that we've had as our life experiences, they are available, let's say, from the collective in the energetic field. But the practice is whether or not I embody them, or whether or not I'm just aware that they're in my field. I feel it all the time. I was feeling it earlier. I was like, wow, I've got this kind of anxiousness. And then I had to kind of revisit it. And I was like, well, maybe it's actually excitement and some, of the collective, because I've got a lot of energy going on. And so as I was able to move it, I can feel the audience. I can feel a lot in the solar plexus, a lot in the digestion. I can feel a lot of different energies that are playing out, within the field here. But like I said, for myself, there was a time when if I had, of course, anything in my own awareness, I could attach to it and then I start telling the story. But now it's like, no, I'm just aware of it. And sometimes it's not as easy. And I will say this, and, look, I do this here and all that. And I'd say, I'm not the complete master at it. I'm very masterful, but in my own awareness, sometimes, especially right now, because these energies are so intense with these timelines, like I said, of Atlantis, we're replaying those timelines, but we're having opportunity to do something really different. So the energies are kind of getting plugged in an authentic way and disengaged from that's not authentic. So because there's so much going on, it's not easy sometimes. Sometimes it just feels completely overwhelming. And my suggestion is just let it. If we don't try to make a story of it, if we don't go, oh my God, what's wrong with me? I'm done this and I can't, if we just say, wow, there's a lot going on, then it will be able to kind of be in your field enough that you can move it outside of your field and just be observing. And that will start to tell you like, wow, where did this come from? Because sometimes, I'll just be walking and like it'll hit me, and different people, certainly if I hug people, certainly, I don't watch the news. I'm not TV. I purposely don't, I'm not afraid to have, those things, but I'm just aware. I'm so aware of the energies and what's here. But sometimes we don't even know, we don't know. We could smile or get close to somebody and then boom, something hits our field. We don't realize it and we're overwhelmed, with something. So when you're able to just drop into that 0 point and be in that place of like, oh my gosh, something's going on, then your higher self will be able to communicate with you, and you'll have maybe a flash of like, wow, I was walking, and you'll see that person's face. And then you'll be like, oh, that's interesting. Take a breath. And then you can do a practice, which is, I always say, I release any attachments to that person or any attachments to anything out of my field, and then suddenly you'll start to feel better. And I have some of these things on my website of some of the ways of which to clear the field, but yeah, I think the name of the game is to be gentle, be loving, be compassionate to her or him, here, and really just allowing this to let go.
Yeah, that was awesome. So helpful. And thank you for all that clarity and clarification on the processes. And the thing is, it's like for most of us, we go into reaction, we go into judgment, we go into trying to understand the story from the mental point, right? We try to understand it. But what you're talking about is, and with the 0 point and through the 0 point, is just being in allowance and observing and being aware of what's happening. Being aware does not mean thinking about what's happening. I just want to make that clear for everybody, just in case it doesn't mean trying to think it through, right? Yeah. But then allowing the 0 point or the energetics to show you what is happening. If you ask the question, instead of us thinking about what it could possibly be. And I think I'm a thinker, like you said. A lot of us are thinkers, and so we try and figure out. I said, oh, it must be this, or oh, it must be that, and instead it's like, be an allowance, say, okay, what is it? And then just see what comes through. And like you said, we're not always gonna get like a big download of information. It'll be like a flash of an insight, like a whisper. And for you to be able to grab that whisper or that insight, even, you have to be present. right? You have to be aware of what's happening. Again, still being in the state of observer awareness instead of thinking.
Yeah, and I think what's really important is to give yourself permission to not self-punish,
Mhm.
because I think that's one of the biggest things that takes place is we go, oh my God, oh no, I got to get this out, or I got to, it's like this whole urgency kind of energetic and this punishing place. And, I think the more, and I found that I'm like, whoa, what happened? What's going on here? And so the more we go, okay, take a breath, relax, let me just be right here. I'm feeling this energy. What am I feeling? Why is it? Because sometimes it's going to be super intense and you're like, and that happened to me the other day. I was like, why is this so intense? It was because I happened to hug this person and I was doing something very fast and I was just saying goodbye. And so I was unaware. And then I come back into my apartment. I was like, wow, okay, I'm feeling like super upset and sad. And it took me a few minutes to realize what had just taken place. And then I had to, and because at first I'm like, oh no, what happened? Why am I in this energy? And so once I was able to kind of feel that, then of course being me, I can shift the energy and realize there was a lot of sadness with this individual. And I not only removed the energetics, but I was helping to shift them and move some of the energetics that were taking place there. But yes, it is a practice, it's a practice for us to really notice, I say a lot that this is everything, right? The body is everything. This is the millionaire. This is the relationship. Everything's here because we are source consciousness. We are information here communicating from this vehicle. Whatever frequencies are going on here is sending out the message to the universe and coming back into our reality. So the more masterful we can be in this present moment, in our present moment of our own self. And it doesn't mean masterful. I think when the thinkers, we think masterful means I'm going to be perfect and I'm going to be like, I'm not going to have any upset in my energy, this kind of stuff. It's like, no, doesn't work that way. We are human and we have a lot of different things. And that's why I said there's a lot coming through the throat. That's why I'm clearing. There's a lot of people have a lot of things about who they really are. That's why it's coming through the throat for me right now. I have to keep clearing. But, and so the more we can be gentle and know, the other piece that is really big, that's also downloading that I'll share is that we are in brand new territory. Okay, we've not done this before, particularly in many eons of time, but certainly in this lifetime of really being authentic and letting go and knowing how we don't know how to have authentic relationships and authentic communication with each other, because there's been this mistrust and this fear and this doubt and all these things going on. So we have to each as our own individuality be brave enough to think that we are the only ones letting go and doing it, to allow for the collective to experience it. And so this is one of the bigger challenges, is like in your own individuality, we're being asked in our authenticity to let go, to truly show up as who we really are, which we don't really know who we are. So we're learning what that is. We're discovering what that is. And in that is the authentic power and vulnerability, which I've shared before, that we're playing out. What we've been playing out is inauthentic power and inauthentic vulnerability, which is the inauthentic power is something greater or less than something else. The authentic power is there's nothing greater than that I am, because I'm source. The inauthentic vulnerability is a fear and a weakness. Authentic vulnerability is, it is what it is. I am what I am. So we're being asked in this timeline now of recognizing unity consciousness and authentic, present moment is authentic power and authentic vulnerability, which is there's nothing greater than that I am. It is what it is. I am what I am. But that means I have to show up. And the thing is that's what we're doing. We're being asked to show up. But I can tell you from my own humanness story, that is it's challenging. It's very hard because, because it's like you're being asked to completely let go, to be completely raw, completely vulnerable, completely in the unknown, showing like everything about yourself in the sense of like, if you don't know something, if you just being, and it's important. I mean, it's important to do because what else are we doing? But at the same time, what's occurring around, and I can feel it in the energy, is all the questioning that we've been doing, which is the reason we haven't been able to let go to those levels. Okay, because the minute that you keep letting go, and I can feel it for myself, is like we're super young because we're like these little babies that are here because we started it very, very young, shutting down and doing so. So when we're at that super vulnerability, we're like these little babies and we're in these adult bodies, which is funny. I say I'm ageless, so I'm just whatever. I'm a baby too. It's like, let's just have fun. And we're doing that. But at the same time now we're feeling all this stuff, because the minute that you're dropping into that neutrality point and you're in that 0 point, everything that's not in that is going to pop out into your field. And also you're going to notice it all around. So this is really where the masterful mastery comes in. This comes in with this course that's also available today, is being able to forget if anybody else is doing it. Forget it. Forget if anybody else is on this path. Just forget it. Because that's where the dialogue, you're like, oh, I can't be the only one who's vulnerable because they're not vulnerable, or they're not the ones doing it. And this is really where we're being called. And this is what I said, is we're in brand new territory, and the more that we can just take breaths and let go, the more we're going to expand that 0 point. We're going to expand that unity consciousness. We're going to expand these frequencies of love, truth, beauty, goodness, and all. And it's not like, peaches and cream and roses all the time. We have other, frequencies and energies, but not to the degrees of what we have now. We will have variances in things that we like and don't like, but the levels that we're experiencing now is not part of, the authentic duality. Because I will say this too, is that we need a duality in order to create. Everything has a duality to it, because otherwise it would just be flat. And so, but it doesn't have extremes. So it's not a duality in terms of a separation. It's a duality in terms of a balancing together. I do this, you do that. I do this, you do that, so that we have this creation. But that's not what's been happening. We've been having, I'm going to do this, you're going to do that, and then we're like, which makes limits and limitations. Okay, so all of that also feels very important to bring, so that we know we allow for that flow. And it is about letting go and noticing, we're not all going to be exactly the same. No, of course not, because we're creating this beautiful synergy. And the other thing is where we haven't been familiar with is really being brave enough to have authentic conversations and communications. And I say, if we can just let go and really speak. And here's the thing, speak in the 0 point, which is in authentic present moment. Because I've shared this a lot too, that 99%, not 100% of conversations is manipulation. That is, I'm not just saying something, I'm trying to put something in you or take something from you. What I'm saying in this place is it's not, because I'm authentic. And it's challenging. It's challenging to say it. It's also challenging to feel it, because the other people are going to be feeling whatever their nervousness. And I felt that too. And what it causes me when I'm at that super vulnerability is I'm like squirming, and I feel like I can't really look. And it's that moment of really feeling super uncomfortable that you're like, and you just have to go with it. Squirm. Let it happen.
Wow. I mean, wow. Through all of that you were just talking about, so many thoughts came up, so many questions came up. But in the end, what it comes down to is that for us to be aware that in any given moment, it's not going to happen all the time. It's not going to happen 24/7. It'll be rare. But if we can, in any given moment, ask ourselves, am I being my authentic self from 0 point, or am I being my story?
Yeah. Absolutely. Right? And how is it serving me? That's what we start to notice when it's like, this is what's going to help us get more brave and more comfortable, is like, it's fun. When we can be silly, and we can just have fun and we can be playful, and when we don't take ourselves so seriously. That's what it is. Like, I gotta take off the serious suit, like put it over there. Like, I don't want, don't need that anymore. And it's very playful. Like I said, then that's what we're learning. We're learning to turn the table, so to speak, of this energetic from this inauthentic vulnerability to authentic vulnerability in that place, because that's what it is. It's like the inauthentic is, ooh, this is super uncomfortable. I'm like nervous. I'm like, ugh. But when you can like let it just happen, that's when you realize, wow, okay, so authentic vulnerability is innocence in my heart, and I'm fun and I'm playful, and it's like super great. And let's all just have some fun and play together, and let's just enjoy life, because we don't know how to do that either. I mean, yeah. I think I can say for myself, I mean, I don't think I've really known what authentic joy is, or authentic, relationships really. I mean, I know from esoteric level and from so on, but in the human level, yeah, it's because it really, we have to be it. And remember, everything in your reality, this is something I've said to you before, is if you can have this awareness that every person in your reality is an aspect of you, it's a reflection of you. And everything in your reality is a reflection of you, and it is for you. There isn't anything in your reality, even if it doesn't feel great, that isn't for you, And so if we can, let ourselves let go and be in those places, then we're going to have those reflections, in our reality more and more, which I can feel in this group. There's a wonderful playfulness and everybody's getting excited, and I love it, that's here, because we can feel it, we can feel like, yeah, I want this,
And that's the thing, is like, we want it. We know that it's possible because you're experiencing it, right? So we know that that's possible for us too. But then our stories, our issues, our trauma, everything that's coming up in our lives comes up in front of us and says, but what about this? What about this? What about this? What are you going to do with this?
Well, and not only does that, but it says we're separate in that. And I think the key is we have those things, but if we realize we're not separate, because I think that's the key that I'm trying to bring forward here, is that when we drop into that 0 point, we are our multidimensional self. We are one with everything. And so we can think it, but the reality is we feel it. There is a oneness that takes place because it's the freedom. Okay, because it is. And so if you think about it, what is the 0 point? The 0 point is the brand new moment. So it's like the little kid that from the first time came anywhere. So if we drop into a first time, we are connected to everything. So if we're able to, in the privacy of our own home and our own space, our own body, be in the present moment, even contemplating and thinking of those things that are going on, even if we don't know it consciously, on an unconscious energetic level, we have a different frequency, which is we are connected to all things. And that creates a different relaxation in the physicality, a different communication and an awareness. It also opens up energies and frequencies for your higher self to come in and begin to bring you more. And this is really what we're opening up to, is this authentic place, which is, I mean, I'm about to lift off. I don't know about you, but it's like I have so much energy here right now, because there's so much presence of source consciousness right now that's like, I mean, dropped in so huge that I'm, and this is what it feels like. If you guys are able to feel what we're feeling right now, is this present moment awareness. And, it's like the thought, the brain saying it goes, but when you have the profundity of what this is in the energetics, this is why we're taught to bypass it. Forget it, move off in your head and keep going, because it's so profound, just being in this present moment and the energetics. So anything that you are thinking or doing, whatever in the present moment, is very, very different than when you shut that and go into your head and zip along. That's the difference that we're bringing here in this field. It's what I'm all about. So let's just all play together. It's fun.
Exactly. Let's play. And that's the thing. It's like, even with, I know we're going to be taking some live caller questions, but even the questions, I'm afraid, are going to be, people are going to step out of the 0 point to ask the question, to be fair, right? Because they it's hard sometimes for us when we have stuff going on to stay in the 0 point. And it's like, what do I do about this? This sitting here. What do I do about this? How can I deal with this when I'm in the 0 point? There's that separation, that gap between this is what's going on in my life, but this is where I want to be in the 0 point, and I'm not sure how to.
Well, here's what I will say to that is that if we can remember, okay, this is the thing that I have to keep driving home, is that we are energy and frequency, and all we're doing in human existence is matching frequencies in order to be comfortable. Everything is energy and frequency. And so think of matching frequencies simply as emotions, right? And by universal law, faster moving frequencies always try to raise slower ones up to match them. So example would be if you and I come around each other and I'm happy and you're mad, I'm going to irritate you because I'm vibrating at a faster rate. And so as long as I stay happy, you only have two choices. You either get happy with me or you go away. Okay. Mm-hmm. So this is this idea of the 0 point. Okay. So the 0 point is it's the no thing and all possibilities. It is who we are. It is source consciousness. It is, and so it is the highest, fastest frequency. No other frequency can sustain itself there. So if I am allowing myself to be in the present moment, even if I'm thinking about my stuff, what's going to happen is it's going to push that energetic. And so if you could visualize it like, so imagine that, the body, so the body is, and I've described this before, like a room. So the body is a container in which our consciousness can engage in, and consciousness is information, right? So it's like this thing of source. God is this giant library of information, and we are a smaller library of the giant library, but we're really like infinite calibrations of geometries, but let's just say library of information. And so, we are like the software in a computer. So, and the brain is like the computer. So we take ourselves and we download ourselves into the physical brain, then we communicate to the body. We use that to communicate out. Well, imagine if that were a room, and if you had in the corner of the room, you had a candle lit. And so that would mean I have like 25% of the room is light. That means 75% of the room is dark. The difference between light and dark is information. Okay. And think of this in terms of density. So light is like a faster moving frequency, a density, and a very light. And then the darkness is a denser. So light is information. Darkness is the absence of information. In this case, that information is you. Right. So if that were your body, it would be like I have 25% of me operating my body. And the me that I'm talking about is my I am presence, my 0 point, my me, my energetic. But then I have 75% is something else. It's the collective beliefs. It's my parents. It's my stories. Right. But if I want to change that in the room, all I have to do is expand that candlelight across the room and all that darkness goes away. It's the exact same thing within your physical body. And that's the idea of the 0 point. When I take a breath and I allow myself to be present, I'm literally expanding that light. And so what's going to happen is all that is not that is not matching that is, I am at a higher vibration, is going to pop out into my field. Okay, so my then challenge is to not embody it. Embody it, because what's going to happen is now see we're still matching, right? So it's like I bring in that light, I come in, but now it's all popped out here in my field, so I'm still feeling it, whatever. And because everything is energy and frequency, your clothes, your room, everything, your current situation, you've been matching not just through what you think is your thought, it's through everything that you're doing. Okay, it's through your environment, everything, because especially if you notice that you have a certain room in your house that you feel uncomfortable in, or your whole home. So what we want to start to do is get into that present moment and just simply become the witnessing observer. Notice, how do I feel? What do I feel in here? If I allow this, what am I feeling? So we're beginning to practice this more and more. And so that's why I keep emphasizing that it's not a no thing. It's an everything about being in the present moment, without judgment and even allowing. So if I can drop into, an example might be, and I've used this before, I could say, oh my God, I don't know where my money's coming from. And that's me in my head, in an energetic where I'm like panicked. And so I'm not in the present moment, I'm contracting my body. Or I could go, I don't know. I don't have any idea. And so in that energy, now I'm in the present moment, in the unknown. So I'm in the 0 point going, I don't have any idea. And in that energy now, I can start to then say, well, if I don't have any idea, then it could come from anywhere. I could win the lottery. I could have, inheritance. Somebody could just bring it to me. I don't know. And when we're in that allowing, then we're going to allow for, new information to come in and start to help us and so on and so on. And so, but it also is shifting that energetic field. This is not a no thing. We're energy and frequency. And everything that we're creating in what we call our physical reality is being created from our thought and our emotion. So this is what I'm going to keep emphasizing. So when we're able to, even though we're taught, oh, it doesn't have any meaning, it has tremendous meaning to be in that present moment, allowing those energetics. Okay, and this is what we're becoming masterful at. This is also a part of what I was saying. We're in new territory and really coming into this. Okay, so
can you clarify for everyone a little bit about no thing and all possibility? I mean, all possibility, we all understand. A little bit more about no thing. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, it means where I see it is like the place of, it's like the space of in between, so to speak, something being created and nothing there. So that's kind of what it is, and that's why it's a hard concept, because we always think everything has a thing, but there is a aspect of energetic before creation exists within it, so to speak. But that's if you're going to try to take this through the linear mind, you won't get it, because the linear mind can't comprehend that, because it's like, well, what do you mean? There's a space. Yeah. So it's just the difference between, so nothing is like a void, empty space, and that feel the difference between nothing versus no thing. See, nothing is an energetic field that we feel empty, because that's a void field. That is a field of creation. It's a creation of nothing.
It's still something.
That's different. That's a very different energy than no thing.
Yeah.
No thing is where the creation exists, the possibilities of it. So it is the energetic field, it's creation itself.
Awesome. Thank you.
And it's very difficult, to put into human language, but I think I'm also, remember, I'm bringing it in a lot of different energetic fields. So I think you guys are getting in on many, whether you recognize it or not, you're getting things on many different levels.
I think so, definitely. I mean, I know so. So there are some questions in the chat and some people with their hands raised.
Mhm.
So what kind of questions do you want to take, or can you take? Work
well, let's just see what people have. I'll let you know.
All right. So let's start with Layla. Layla, you want to unmute yourself? So if you do have a question, you can raise your hand, or you can type your question in the chat. I always like it better when you raise your hand, because then I get to see you, have more engagement. But if you can't, I understand.
Sure. Hi, Layla.
Hi. So last night, I had an interesting interaction with my mom. I had shared some information with her a couple days before that about it from a series that.
Are you still there?
Oh, we lost you.
I was going to say, I'm still here. So are you still there, Layla?
Layla, something happened. I don't know if we.
Oh, you're back.
Okay, so I think one of the webinars delivered some information to my mom that I thought she would use against me. And I could feel like, well, what I did, and I watched myself do it, was I was just really nervous. And so I wanted to get in touch with her and call her and see how she would respond to me, to see if I was in trouble. And so I did that. And then I just kind of realized what was going on was, what came up was when I was 19, my mom basically rejected and abandoned me, and kind of pulled the rug out for me, and expelled me from the house. And I'm wondering, like, is this the thing that you're talking about? Do you go into it with a specific, something happened at 19? Do you go into it with that specific incident and then listen to the activation? Or how can I clear this?
Yeah.
Like it's stuck. I'm scared. I feel scared.
Yeah. Well, I actually think I'm not happy that you feel scared, but it's a good thing in the bigger picture. And I think that I would encourage you just to experience the activation, because it's going to go where it wants to go naturally. So you don't have to do anything. That's the idea of getting out of the mind. But what I'm experiencing is it's a little you, it's much younger you that's scared because you're so pure. It's like that pure essence, that little you that's going, ooh, I don't know. That you're aware of the 19-year-old, you're aware of what took place. So, and I think you're seeking for where's that coming in, but this feels a little different. It feels like there's both, it feels like you've got this beautiful little innocent you, which is the one that's a little that's nervous, but that nervousness is what I was describing before. This is that new territory, that place of authenticity, like, So that's what I'm going to encourage you, is to breathe through that, let that, just notice that and be like, oh, I'm just, maybe my mom's getting some new information. This is curious. Okay, I'm just going to let that be in trust, faith, trust, and surrender, divine order. She's getting this. This is what you really desire. That's who you are authentically. That's that true essence of yourself. And you have this other 19-year-old that has this essence. And I think that's the one that will naturally get worked out as you, are working with the activations, as you continue to stay in that vulnerable place of just being that witnessing observer. Okay, because I can really feel both showing up here.
Okay. Yeah. I'm ready to squirm.
Yeah, it's great. Exactly.
That's awesome, Leila. Yeah, good.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, Manisha, you want to unmute yourself?
Thank you, Lara. Hello, Cathleena.
Oh, we can hardly hear you. Can you speak up a little bit more?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Bring my laptop. And I'm going through a bit of some problems at the moment with my son. And it's hard to be an observer. And what's happening is similar things perhaps happened when I was in my mother's womb until I was 5 years old, with the issues of finances with my father. And I can see the same repeat patterns. And it's very hard to be an observer. How can I navigate? I mean, it's not been easy for me last couple of years. And there are days, he's super fine, and then every couple of weeks, just erupt. So it's been a bit difficult. So this is where I am. Thank you.
Yeah. So is it the sun that's erupting, or is it your energy?
Yes. Yeah. No, it's my son.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So I feel like that the more that you can be in that witnessing observer, and I know it is challenging, and of course as a parent, but the more that you can open your heart and compassion because what I feel is what you're struggling with is having your heart open and compassion for him at the same time of letting go of your own story and your own guilt and your own confusion. And that's really what's making this, a lot of different energetics. We're going to clear some of this when I do some of the activation portion for this as well. But that's what I'm feeling for you is it's just about, I'm looking at it energetically, and it's like coming from the earth and allowing your heart to open up, and compassion first and foremost for you. So it's about, being compassion. I'm going to be compassionate for the situation, compassionate for my own life, my own existence. And in that, then I can hold that compassion for him. And that way, we disengage it's like a cord. Of course, as a mother, he's your biological son. You biologically had him. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a cord, there's an energetic cord also that is, moving with him and towards him. And so, the more that you can clear your energetic field, that's going to clear through, which I do feel looks fairly clear at this present moment. But I think there's some energy that you keep pulling back. There's so much story. You got a lot of story. I'd say at some point have a private, because I think there's a lot of energy in here, that session. But yes, I'm looking at, there's a lot in the field for you in relationship to this. I think this course would be good for you that we have going on.
Perfect.
As well. But I'll do some clearing. I'm already in your energetic field, and of course we'll do some clearing for this in the general. This is going to be part of the group, or I would do it individually, but it's going to be part of the group. So
wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you, Alara.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cathleena.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Manisha. I was muted. All right, we're gonna go to Sue and then Janice. So you just have to, yeah. There you
Hello.
go. Hi, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, I have a question. I keep seeing a seashell, a perfect, beautiful seashell, like out of the corner of my eye. Then I get the image of I'm at Atlantis with me and my husband both. And we're in this beautiful temple. And I could see the crystals and everything. It's gold with all the crystals. What is this signifying for me at this point? Because now I could be at a grocery store, it happens. I could be at home. But yet we're both there. I see both of us in the temple. And then it goes away. It just stops. But it's been happening more and more this past couple weeks.
Well, because have you ever been to Egypt?
Yes, I was told in a past life I was an Egyptian healer also.
Have you been to Egypt this year?
No.
Well, what I'm feeling is that this to me feels like it's a connectedness to Egypt, to going there. There's something that wants to be connected in Egypt, actually, which is interesting. And it does feel like it's connected to, I think, the Great Pyramid. So you may be able to do this energetically through a picture, depending on your own energetic field. But this is what it feels like, that there's something that wants to be connected through. When I was there, I went there not long ago, and I was in the Queen's and the King's chamber, and I realized the energetic, and the Queens went down, and the Kings went up, and I was a conduit to create that energetic. And I think from that, there's something in your energetic that would step into that, which I probably can do it. I mean, it is doing it actually as I'm speaking about it now. So I'm just kind of looking at those energetics, and it is connected to, there's something in that template. In order for, I would say, could come in for a private session at some point, because there's so much going on in the energetic field with this, but it's separate. And it's interesting because it's not, there's not an embodiment with you or your husband. Actually, it's sitting next to you. It's over here. So there's something in your energetic field that's not, you guys aren't, or you're not embodying. And I think that's what's significant with the shell. There's something in that about, you know how I think this is what about the shells there. It's like, a shell you can pick up and hear the ocean. It's something like that. That's what it is. It's about hearing. There's something about connecting that. That's what I'm doing now. So I'm actually bringing that in. I would go into a dream state with this, bring it in the beginning of your dream. Just say, okay, I would like to dream about this and have, because I'm opening up the energetics for this. There's a bigger story about the timeline.
Yeah,
it's actually stepping in right now as some kind of.
I feel like I'm stepping into one of the pyramids and there's somebody there, but I can't really see him. I just feel like I'm in that zone right now.
Yeah, because I just took you into a whole energetic field.
Okay, and there's
I'm talking about it. I'm not. So I just shifted the energetics for you in relationship to that. But there is a lot going on in your field. Yeah, there's a lot. A segment is, that's who's there. Segment.
Who's there?
Segment.
Yeah, that's who's there.
Segment.
That's what I'm looking at, who's just stepping in. There's some energetics that's in relationship to that for you. So yeah, there's a lot happening. It's going to be interesting what comes through the field in relationship to that. But there's a lot with the timelines of, Atlantis and of course ancient Egypt, and a lot are also part of the timelines coming in.
Were they connected in timelines?
The different timelines, but different. But yes, a lot of connectedness. A lot of the energetics that took place in Atlantis are connected to what's taken place in Egypt.
That's why that's why Atlantis and Egypt, I'm drawn to those two. Okay.
That's awesome, Sue.
Yeah,
Thank
there's
you.
a lot
Really
more, but I don't want to do a full session with you, but there's a lot
Right.
that's coming forward. So I would suggest at some point, yeah.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Sure.
Thank you very much for all your help.
You're welcome.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sue. And
Blessings to both of you.
do some research on the Great Pyramid, right? Do some research on Sekhmet, and then that will also, and then what Cathleena said about in the dream state,
Mhm.
and just be in this energy and just perceive, right? Be in allowance and
Right,
perceive.
because she has opened it up now. Yes,
Yeah,
I
there's a
feel
lot-
different.
yeah.
I'm really
Yeah.
now,
Yeah, 'cause
she's
there's a lot
opened
going
it up
on.
that I can continue. Thank
Yeah,
you very much
awesome.
for, thank you.
Good. Thank you, Sue. Awesome.
Blessings to both of you and good health.
Thank you, Sue. You too.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go to Janice.
Thank you
Don't
so
worry,
much.
I'm going to go back to the chat in a minute. Don't worry. I know people are like, what about what
Hi.
about me? So
Hi.
yes. Hi, Janice.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, thank you so much for choosing me. I had questions based on a dream and then co-creating with others, but then you brought in Atlantis and Egypt. So Egypt, we just started watching a thing on Netflix last night about the tomb at Saqqara. So like, there's just so much. It's like, okay, Cathleena, where are we going? But my question was about co-creating with somebody else who doesn't, he's like always in the negative about things, and I'm always trying to bring that up. And so he said last night about being irritated by me being up here, and like, where does that leave me in terms of co-creating with somebody? We're moving house and trying to find a place to live. So I find that a little bit frustrating. And then last night I had a dream about this tornado that came and just ripped everything apart. And so wondering if that also is part of Atlantean and Egyptian timelines, because there was just so much you brought in.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you very much.
Yeah. Well, there's of course a lot in your field, which I know,
course.
but you've seemed very light. I think that's, this idea of, partnership and relationships and so on that's what I'm saying. It's new. And so being able to carry that 0 point means that you're vibrating at a higher rate. So yes, you're going to irritate the other person. So the challenge is going to be, can you stay in your sovereignty and your 0 point while as the other person figures it out? Otherwise, you're going to be shifting your own energetic field. And this is really where you are. It's like, because what we've been doing in humanity is a lot of manipulation, right? So we've been playing out the enslavement, imprisonment, and sacrifice frequencies of each other. So relationships have been this type of enslavement aspect or ownership or those types of things.
Victimizer.
Victim victimizer stuff, power struggles, right? And so in order to be authentically in a relationship that is two people co-creating and connecting together, we have to have a willingness to go through what are the tougher stuff. So it is that faith, trust, and surrender and allowing, because remember, it's about matching frequencies. So if I'm staying in that 0 point and the partner isn't able to be there, they're going to find their comfort. They're going to be looking for that comfort. So we're going to be irritating them. But we're giving opportunity. It's the same thing. We're giving opportunity to the collective, and so it's a decision within you, because it's like, well, if I am I compromising myself? What am I doing? Am I becoming the chameleon for the other individual? Am I shifting myself? And this is where we're being called out. It's like, what are we doing? Can we be in authentic relationships? Can we truly be in that 0 point and have that faith, trust, and surrender? Because it's all about what do I really want? Do I want a relationship that I'm being manipulated around because I'm allowing that, or do I want an authentic relationship? and that's really where like I said, the tougher part is. And so that compassion is a big one in this. So it's allowing yourself to open up, be in that present moment, having the compassion for yourself and compassion for others. And from that 0 point, it feels super important to express to you, is communicate, make sure your communication is in the authentic 0 point. And that's that letting go, disconnecting from any of the fears or the doubts or the control that I might have of myself, of what I need and what I think, and it's just about being authentically in that present moment and speaking from that. So if all my words are from that present moment, I'm in that, then there's the greatest opportunity for the partner to find his way there, because otherwise it's like we're in these battles, we're in this stuff, and this is the game we've been playing on the planet, but we're being encouraged to do something different.
I think that was tied into the dream where this it was kind of like this tornado just came and ripped everything apart.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's also the energetics that are taking place. So it's like I think it's a physical and energetic with you. It's tearing things apart. It's breaking things down. It's giving opportunity, and so it's like it is going to happen regardless. And so it's like, what am I doing? Because one thing I will say that has been kind of downloaded, and Carolyn Corey, who I love, Carolyn Corey, she said it in this way that, the subconscious mind is dissolving, and it is dissolving. I would have said, we're in a huge wake up of who we really are, but that's literally what's happening. And so, and it's happening regardless. It's not, everybody's having this happen because we're not meant to have things hidden from ourselves. That's just not the way that things are. It's been created from the false matrix. And so, so we're not going to be able to continue the game of what is, in our subconscious hiding. It's going to be forefront all the time. And so that means if I'm adjusting myself, I'm going to know it all the time, constantly, and that's why relationships are going to shift and change. And it's what we have opportunity, to step into.
Awesome. Thanks so much for that clarity.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Janice. And good luck with that. It's not always easy. All right. So just really, I know Maria had a question. Really, she's dealing with a lot: health, suggested surgery, moving to unknown location, family, neighbors, money, etc. And at the same time, thank you for making it a little bit clear, Maria. She just got denied unjustly a court case with SSI. I don't know what that is. What can I clear or do with next step on this? Has been over 7 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can.
Well, I think we're everything we've been sharing. I mean, I would encourage you to take this course, and I encourage you to. It's about disengaging. There's so much focus in the energetics on justice and right and wrong, these different things that are going on, that it's creating a lot of these energetics that are going on. So I think the way out is to disengage. It really feels to me like my example of, oh my God, I don't know where my money's coming from versus I have no idea. It's like being able to be in that place of the unknown, disengaging. And the challenge with that is, in order to allow ourselves to be in the unknown, and what we're doing is we're literally moving from our head to our heart space. But in order for us to do that in the present moment, we have to own how my current situation is serving me, because it is serving you. We don't think it is, because we think, oh my God, I have all this stuff going on. It's terrible. I don't want it. But we're source consciousness having this experience. So there's a reason that we're having this experience. And I think that's one of the more difficult parts, is kind of like, well, what am I really doing? And this is, when I have my example, when I say I used to wake up in the morning and I would hear, you're such a failure. And I felt like, oh my God, I got to get out of this. And then I took the time to notice. You have to notice, what is your thought and what is your emotion, and then what is it doing to this body? And I took the time to really notice. I was like, I noticed my thought around, oh my gosh, I'm a failure, and the energetic with it. And I realized that, you know what, there was some comfort in that. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that there was comfort in me dialoguing that I was a failure. It's like something I was familiar with, some place that I had known. And so, you know, now that I had an authentic awareness of what I was really creating, now I could say, do I really want this or don't I? And so once I had that real awareness of like, oh, this is comfortable. And I was like, well, do I want that? I was like, no, I really don't want that. And so, you know, it was able, so it was like the next morning I wake up, it's still there. The story's still there going, you're a failure. But now I could start to say, well, you know what? I might not know what success is, but I know I don't want to feel this. And so that is the moment that I move from my head to my heart. I move into the unknown. I'm in that 0 point. But the thing is that we're not taught to be in the unknown. We're taught to be in the unknown. So we're going to start to repeat those stories. And this is where the challenge is to be able to keep remembering very simple things about, you know, being in the present moment. I got my feet on the floor. I'm looking out my eyes. I'm in my room. We have to continually bring ourselves in the present moment and remind ourselves of the things that are positive in our reality at that present moment. Anything that's positive at that present moment, because we do have things that are positive that's going to help to carry us into that, you know, staying in that unknown to begin, which in essence we're disengaging from all those things that we don't like, so that we can start to get more clarity. Because there's, you know, and I can feel, and I have a lot of compassion and you know, for you and for what's going on, but this is the key to this, you know, otherwise we're just going to keep perpetuating the story continually, you know. So we just have to be able to disengage here, you know, from that feeling, you know, of that panicky feeling, which I know is not easy. I'm not saying that this is an easy thing to do, but in the present moment, you know, we do have awareness. We do have, I'll say this here, you know, on my website, I do have a small book that I wrote. It's called The Pocket Guide to Presence. It's an ebook. It's $4, so it's not much. I do suggest you get it. And it has pictures and colors and techniques about getting and staying present. And that will help you disengage from those energetics without the mind being involved. Also
Awesome.
suggest, you know, again, private sessions, somebody as well.
And Maria, stay tuned for the process. That's also going to assist you a lot. Okay.
Yeah, that'll help as well.
And then the last question was from Arietta in the chat. She said, the energy of rejection brings discomfort around my throat and heart. And then I don't know this part at all. I'm wondering if the arrow I received on the top of the head is behind it. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
You might know.
Yeah, I don't. Let's see. I have to read that again. Sorry. Rejection brings discomfort around my throat, heart. Oh, it's behind it. It's just what she's trying to say. Is it the cause of it?
Yeah.
Well, I think that there's just a lot of energetics around you. So, you know, and I've worked with you many times, so I'm very familiar with what's showing up. I think going into the activation is going to help shift any of these energetics, particularly, you know, in your field, Arietta, because, you know, I think that there are some energies that are in the field that we're going to shift out.
Good. Well, we're going to do that in just a minute, the process that Cathleena is going to do with us. But before that, Cathleena, do you want to quickly just go over the special offer package? It's very short and very quick. Yeah,
well, I think we pretty much talked about it. I mean, it's just, I don't even remember how many sessions it is. It's been a while since I looked at it.
Hold on. Is it live or is it pre-recorded?
No, it's pre-recorded.
Okay, because it says here it's a 5-week live course, so I will change that to say pre-recorded.
5 week. Yeah, it's a 5-week session, and each one goes through different ages of time. And as I said before, it takes you are the 0 point moving into each one of these. And so each time you listen, they're in the now moment because everything's in the 0 point. And so you can continue to listen and then they're in the now moment. So it's going to continue to expand those energetics and shift because it'll move through timelines as well. It won't be just about this timeline, it'll be other lifetimes and so on that's there.
Yeah, awesome. So yes, this package is available from Cathleena. Again, it is a pre-recorded previously live course activation series, 5 weeks. A payment plan is available, and if you are an Inner Circle member, please do take advantage of your gift code as well. So that is available. So now we're going to get into this exciting process that we're going to do. So be present, be willing, allow, just allow, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so if everybody wants to just close their eyes and take some deep breaths, I'm going to step into the energy. And for those who don't know, I'm going to change the sound here. So you might hear the fan in the background, but you want to get all the nuances. I make a lot of sounds. I do a lot of strange things, so go with it. Okay. Abakusimira kotara katai shukisana mokola akashoko samu wasamane da kasara katai tukush katani mokusane my people sana magara ketara kasara katish. Misera kotila pokosera kala poposhi la apapai sukin makaya kasara ketukush mena maolo asa aga asa shumi lokusemera kachokoti la kasi kosimela shukomba ala kasere kote mobisa la ki ishe mukusala kati goto mukujara kasara katu shapo humbo posane magela kasara kati Moshila kas kiti pushmina kolmana sa kate papa pakasenya shukuni musukotas aposhimina kada kasara pipo simina kate to kosmina shikana mushukla. Take some deep breaths. Isana kata asamira kata akakakakaka usmina katu release any entities, energies, inorganic frequencies, inorganic technologies, inorganic timelines, past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum. Close all portals, gateways, pathways, meridians, stargates, wormholes of any access to my energy, past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum. Opening up all channels to pure prime creator. Awakening the highest level of your DNA, 12-strand DNA in this present moment. Allowing for the crystalline energy moving from Sophia Gaia up to Prime Creator, back around, creating a giant toroidal field. As above is below, as below is above. Kusimina la kasaragate pushmina kotokota kakakada itu kusimina kada puki kusamala kasikete ushmina kotila pokol malakuita pa apokos juko sa papa salaki kusinila kada malapokil saka sama pata papa sama kada kusina kada shkala sama papa kesini ya lo kushimla kata itu kukusa papa saraki tu kushimla kata kata asmi ta sa kushimla kata shwa sarak papa kasak. Bringing in the authentic frequencies and codes of all elements, earth, fire, air, water, ether, the diamond blue plasmic flame of the sixth element, awakening, calibrating the quantum level of the carbon to crystalline DNA. Your I am presence. Just awaken. I'm shifting the geometries at the quantum level of your DNA to awaken the true, authentic communication as with and as one, really, with the elements, because we are one with the earth, not on the earth. And so this is going to enhance your creation abilities in a much clearer aspect. So I'm going to encourage you in this present moment, let go of all thought. I'm going to call forth the highest and most profound miracles and healing miracles take place this now divine moment according to divine law and order and the will of the Oversoul. I'm going to ask for all that no longer serves you to simply release with grace and ease. I want you to imagine little particles floating out of your physical brain. We're going to let go of the limits, limitations, the thoughts, judgments. You don't have to know what it is. We're just going to imagine like dirt just floating out of your head, out of your brain. So I'm bringing in these codes. I'm shifting these geometries. Take a deep breath. I'm setting the stage, so to speak, for a greater communication level with the elements. We are one with the water. Water is a consciousness. Air is a consciousness. Earth is a consciousness. And we are connected with those. There's no fear. We're going to release any fear, any and all fear out of the field and expand this field 360 degrees. I'm going to bring in pure prime creator. I'm going to bring in a field, a very thick plasmic field of pure prime creator, and all that we're releasing we're going to replace with pure prime creator. It's going to get real bright, 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 white, light. You might feel warm. And some of you actually might feel cold. Take some deep breaths. Also bringing in the pink light of Divine Mother. It's also peace. We're going to bring in peace. And we're bringing in gratitude. It's a green light of gratitude. It's also a healing frequency. I'm also feeling a silver and blue light. This is a very high frequency healing energy. So for any of those that are feeling anything in their physical body, allow this silver and blue light to go wherever it decides to go within your body. It's a very high frequency healing. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take a deep breath. I'm just going to bring this into your heart space. Okay. All right. You ready? You can open your eyes.
Did not want to open my eyes. My eyes are like all watery and stuff. Oh my goodness. How's everybody doing? And hot, so much heat as well. I know that for myself. And
Yeah, some may have heat, some may have cold. There's a lot of energetics. This is I really expanded the field here, so I think you're gonna feel really, really light. I would encourage everybody to getting water in some way, shower or something like that. I think it's going to really help. And I would revisit this activation for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. There was a lot that was happening. I noticed one thing different today, Cathleena, while you were doing the light language. For me, your light language sounded like, and no offense to anybody, please. I just, I don't know what the correct terminology is, but it sounded a little bit like Spanish, Latin, South American. The tone of your light language. It was interesting. I don't remember it being like that before.
It has lots of different light language. I have lots of different, it depends on what collective or what energetics or what's coming through or what I'm communicating. So yes, and my consciousness is so expanded. So each time that I come, it's going to be probably different and different.
Yeah. It was interesting. And I noticed that was slightly different, but also at the same time. I'm still yawning a lot.
Yeah.
Janice says, wow, thank you. Thank you, Leah says. Cindy says, thank you. Wow, that was amazing. So many wows. Arietta says, wow, powerful and so wonderful, deeply grateful. Good. So stay in that energy, right? So try and stay in this 0 point as long as you can. Manish says, thank you, Cathleena. Thank you, Laura. Very powerful. I too did not want to open my eyes. I yawned a lot of release on the call of what is not serving me. Yeah. And so just be present with, who you are right now in this 0 point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Try not to go back to the story.
Well, I think be loving with yourself and be compassionate. It's okay. What I say is that it's not about changing or shifting your story or anything. It's just about not embodying it and engaging it. And I think that's what's super important. Because if we start to get any type of judgments, oh my God, I don't want to go backwards. No, just be like, okay, I'm curious. Wow, what does this field feel like? Wow, it feels like different. I feel relaxed, or I feel different. Like, oh, okay, so I can do this in my present moment, regardless of my situation. That's what we want to start to come into the awareness of. Okay, be gentle and loving, compassionate to her.
Exactly, and absolutely. Lots of yawning. Mary Lou says, thank you so much. More power to you both. Lots of goosebumps. Awesome.
Great.
Tanya says, I love Cathleena's energy. Yep, me too. Derek says, thank you, Cathleena. Laura, thank you. Sherry says, yeah, thank you. And that's the thing. Stay in the state of gratitude. Just be present with what is. Layla, even if the sadness is coming up, just observe, right?
Yeah, let all the energies come up, and just remember, I'm a reflection of you. Just keep remembering what I said, is that everything in your reality is an aspect of yourself. So there's all just energetic. So everything you're feeling and seeing is you. It's all you as well. We're all one.
And it's all okay.
It's all good.
Lisa says, thank you. My ears are ringing now. Awesome. Receive the downloads.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Sometimes that's what it can mean. And of course, like Cathleena said, go back and watch or listen to the replay so that you can do the activation again, but also all the wisdom as well in this call. Okay, so please do go back and watch or listen to that. And of course, if you can, please do purchase the package, which is a 5-week pre-recorded course, but it's going to help you with the activations. The activations are like, 5, obviously, activations that are going to help you to move through what you may be experiencing right now. Okay, so it's like moving through the time matrix at 0 point for all the different ages and all of life. It doesn't matter where you are, what stage you're at. Just allow, and then see, perceive, be aware of what you're feeling. What you're experiencing, what's showing up afterwards, right?
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Just be aware best you can.
Yeah, we're beginning to have a greater awareness of who we are, what we're doing,
Yeah. And the more that we can be present, the more that we can be our authentic selves in the 0 point, just try. It's not easy it's not easy for me as well. I'm a thinker too, right? So it's like, there's so much going on in my head, right? But the more that we can be present in that 0 point state or stage or frequency, to see how that feels for you. Okay.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah, try it.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's both easy and challenging at the same time.
Just
you know.
play with it. Just play, right?
Yeah, and the more that you can come into the awareness that what's helpful for me is when I say, well, how is it serving me when I'm sitting here by myself, torturing myself about whatever's going on in my world? When I go, why am I programmed that somehow me sitting here by myself, dialoguing crap to myself and torturing is helpful? Who gave that program and how is that helpful? And then that's what wakes me up. I go, okay, well, I'm not going to do that, because we're so trained to do that. Focus on it, keep it. But that's why, because it's a very clever matrix. Because if we focus on it, we're attaching to it. That's the quantum entanglement. Then we're creating it. Okay, so this is the key. Just disengage from it. It's going to still hang around. You'll start to see magic in your world. And definitely, this was a very powerful activation here for your DNA. So I'm excited.
And there is so much magic available for you. So much magic. And that's the thing. It's like sometimes, that grace or that happiness or that joy that you feel in people's presence, but also for yourself, just by yourself when you're walking down the street, all of that. It's like, it's so important for you to start to feel more of that joy again, and in that present moment, and being happy, right? And allowing that happiness to, bubble up within you so that you can express it. And, keeping your vibration high and light.
Yeah,
the best you can.
That's where the irony. That's why I said is this is so easy and so hard at the same time. When you wake yourself up and go, why not?
Exactly.
Why not smile at somebody? Why not have a good time? I mean, what am I doing to myself? It's like,
so much more is possible and so much more is available to us now more than ever. So this was awesome. Thank you, Cathleena, and thank you everybody for all your questions. That helped to bring through that process, which was like, I don't know, I keep getting the word magnetic, but magnetic in a good sense. It was so magnetic in a great sense that eye-opening. Cindy says. Good. Awesome.
Beautiful. All right.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, everyone. So until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all so much love and blessings always. And yes, stay in this 0 point for as long as you can. Just hold on to it. Just be in it. Okay.
We are it. Yeah.
Layla's smiling, so that's good. Layla's smiling, so that means the sadness has shifted. It's shifting. Awesome. Good. And good luck, Sue, with that whole Egypt, Atlantis thing in Sekhmet. Okay. Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone.
Take care.
Bye for now. Have a great weekend.
Okay. Bye-bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye, Sue. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Wonderful show. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. Good.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank
you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And go back
Just
and watch
my
or
heart.
listen to the replay, right?
Oh, I will. Bob's gonna have to look up for me who Sectin is and about the Egyptian pyramid.
Yeah, Sekhmet. Sekhmet. Try that. Okay.
No, wait, Bob. No, wait. Can you
Do it
repeat
again.
it one more time for Bob, please?
Sekhmet. Just Google it.
HKMET.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Bye now, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.